Hello and welcome back to Margaret's Pearls TV. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. How are you all doing and how are you keeping? It has been a difficult few days for all of us all over the world. And I am in no doubt about the effects of the cycle of events in the past 2 years, from COVID-19 and its variants, natural disaster, volcanoes erupting, flooding, storms, hurricane, and on the exact day England removed all COVID restrictions, Russia began an invasion of Ukraine. We were all just about relieved in England and Wales. Then suddenly we are faced with another event. And whether near or far from Ukraine, our world is once again affected as events unfold from Ukraine. And with different age groups watching via social media and television, our emotions have been affected one way or the other. And my thoughts and prayers are with the people of Ukraine, the people of Russia, and our entire world. One way or the other, the media is full of events as they happen. Television and social media are updating us non-stop. And I would recommend spending less time watching and listening to the news because it has affected me as I monitor events. This has been a very difficult video to make because I have experienced several emotions as this war unfolds. And I am not ashamed to share how this has affected me and several people around me, including children. There is once again heightened anxiety, worry, anger, trauma, fear, and many other feelings, irrespective of my faith or your faith or our faiths. At this time, I remind myself of Philippians 4 verses 6 to 7. In the Bible, it says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your mind in Christ Jesus." And this has been my go-to verse for this moment. As a person of faith, of course, I will pray. We've been praying and I will continue to pray with others. But we also need to take practical steps. Therefore, I want to address trauma and how we can cope or try to cope with trauma. Trauma is deeply distressing and disturbing at all levels, from death, injury, war, sickness, violence, and so on and so forth. A person experiences trauma when gone or going through very stressful, frightening, and distressing events, just like we are going through now. It can occur at any age and affect us. It could be long-term effect, it could be short-term effect. Sometimes trauma could relate to your identity if you've been harassed, bullied, or experienced discrimination. Imagine some people fleeing Ukraine and because of the color of their skin, they are being denied entrance to other countries around Ukraine. As we are going through this difficult period, please look out for the following signs in everyone around you, including children, elderly, the vulnerable, the disabled, your friends, our family members, loved ones, work colleagues and acquaintances, and even your neighbors. The signs and feelings of trauma could include sadness, nervousness, being jumpy, anger, difficulty sleeping, nightmares, flashbacks, internalization of past traumatic events, altered anxiety state, mood swing, changes in thoughts, avoidance, ignoring events that can remind one of past trauma, and a change in persona, character, and presentation. In a brief chat with my mother on the third day of the invasion of Ukraine, as an 83-year-old elderly woman, she could recall her experiences during the Biafra War from 1967 to 1970 in Nigeria. She told me how she arrived with 2 children, including myself. Can you imagine spending my early years in the middle of a war within a nation, and that was Nigeria? I cannot recall those events, but she told me they left England for Nigeria when we were very little and we were caught up in the middle of the war. My mother said any form of war is traumatic, When she arrived in Nigeria, she joined the Nigerian Ministry of Defense, and they were working in the center of Lagos. And she said to me she knew the missile could land anytime, anywhere. No one was safe. She said she could have obtained uniform to fight, but she thought of us, our children. As part of her job, she was responsible for identifying dead medical matron personnel. She would measure their corpses to get the clothes made for them for their burials. My mother also told me how a traumatic event in 1976, when Major General Muritala Muhammad was assassinated in Lagos, you can see it's still affecting me somehow, that she came to collect my brother and myself from school. Our school was on the road where this assassination took place. She said she escaped death on that day to make sure she collects our children and take us back home through the back streets. She also said if she was at work on that day, perhaps she could have died as well. War is very bad. She ended with an adage: when the eyes of an old person is deep, he's been through a lot in life. Now I have a lot also to think about. I have also heard of a story of an elderly woman crying as a result of the invasion of Russia in Ukraine. Trauma is real, folks, and we should never trivialize it. In the book, Give War and Peace a Chance, Tolstoyan Wisdom for Troubled Times by Andrew D. Kaufman, also read by Nelson Mandela, who in his long walk to freedom singled out War and Peace as a book that guided and inspired him during his darkest days of incarceration at Robben Island. When Tolstoy emerged from captivity, he said, "I don't say we should oppose this or that. We may be mistaken." He tells his wife after the war, returning from St. Petersburg, you know that is Russia, right? "What I say is, let's join hands with those who love the good, and let there be one banner, active virtue." At this junction, permit me to share some tips and tools that can help us as we cope with these various traumatic events. Please reduce the time you're listening to the news and spend less time on social media. And encourage the children, the young ones, and the young adults around us to also spend less time on social media. Please spend time on other things like chores, walk the dog or go for walks, playing sports or other things that interest you, attend your church service or your faith groups. Number 3, please keep an eye on our children. A lot of them are being affected by the events. Even in schools, they're encouraged to talk about things that are happening. Reassure them. Show them the map of Ukraine. Tell them there have been wars in the past. Tell them about things people do to keep safe during the time of war. Tell them people in Ukraine have managed to go into air raid shelters. Some of them are moving out of the country. And indeed, they will see children traveling with their parents, families separated. Try to reassure them. Number 4, let's be on the lookout for one another. The time of me, myself, and I is past. Be your brother and sister's keeper. If you can't visit somebody, phone them, send them a message. But better hear or see that person through a video call and be sensitive to what is being expressed. Also, you can share your feelings. Number 5, you can connect with people who have survived trauma. Number 6, lean on your loved ones. Identify friends or family members for support. If you're ready to discuss the traumatic event, you might want to talk about your experience and your feelings. You can also ask loved ones to help you with household tasks or other obligations to relieve some of your daily stress. Number 7, keep avoidance to a minimum. Gradually try to ease yourself back into a normal routine. Number 8, seek support from your faith group, faith leaders, specialized professionals, and organizations. Number 9, take care of yourself. Eat well. Get regular physical activity, especially outdoors. Ensure you get a good night's sleep. Try music, meditation, relaxation, spending time in nature. Lastly, be patient and be kind to yourself. And take your progress slowly. Tolstoy spoke of active virtue, and my virtue would be in Philippians chapter 4, verse 8 in the Bible. In the New King James Version, it says, "Finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there is any virtue, and if there is anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things." At this difficult time, let us meditate on good things. Let us try as much as possible. It has been very, very difficult. We will get through this together. Let's keep praying for peace in Ukraine, peace in Europe, peace in our world, believing that it will end very soon. It has been really difficult, but I'm glad I made it through. And I hope you find some of the tools and tips useful, because I will be working on myself as well. Thanks again for watching and listening. Please subscribe, like, comment, press that notification button. Until we meet again, take care of yourself and each other. Goodbye and God bless. Thank you for listening.